Hey there, welcome to the next video in the Bitbucket Blitz video series. In the last video, I showed you how you can pass variables between parent and child pipelines and use dynamic step conditions to build pipelines that branch based on runtime information. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can set up Bitbucket pipeline triggers to automatically kick off pipelines in response to events like pipeline completions, deployment finishes, or pull request activity. Bitbucket Pipelines already supports triggering on repository pushes and pull request pushes. But if you wanted to react to other events like a deployment finishing, a build failing, or a PR getting merged, you had to wire that up yourself with webhooks or external glue code. New trigger types let you define those conditions directly in your YAML. You can fire custom pipelines on events like pipeline completed, deployment completed, pull request completed, pull request fulfilled, and more. So instead of building external orchestration, you can chain stages together, send notification on failures, or generate release notes on merge, all defined in your pipeline configuration. And because these triggers work together with shared pipelines, you can set up reactive workflows that span your entire workspace without duplicating configuration across repositories. Now, let's look at how to set this up in Bitbucket Pipelines. All right, let's take a look at this repository and learn about pipeline triggers. So if we scroll down, the first thing we're going to notice, we've got a whole bunch of pipeline.yaml files. So the Bitbucket pipeline.yaml file is our main pipeline.yaml file that defines the pipelines that are going to run. But each of these defines specific smaller child pipelines that can be executed. So if we drill into this Bitbucket pipeline.yaml file, the first thing we see here is that we import specific pipelines from those files. So this is a way of breaking down a large complex file with many steps and other things into a smaller, easier to read file. So in this case, all of the code that's in these is not seen here, but we can get to it and we could look at it if we wanted to and modify it separately. Now if we scroll a little farther down, we see triggers. Triggers are ways of kicking off pipelines based on conditions and things that happen in Bitbucket. So in this case, when a pipeline is completed, we can check for a specific condition, and if it's true, we're going to run 3 pipelines. That's what this means. If we go a little farther down, if a deployment is completed, we're going to check to see if the deployment environment was production, and if it was, we're going to run this pipeline. If the deployment that was completed was the staging one, we're going to run this pipeline. So triggers essentially give us a way of reacting to things that happen in our environment. We're going to look at this one here, pull request created. So whenever pull request created, if the destination branch is mainline, we're going to run a pull request created pipeline. And we're going to find that and we're going to import it from one of these steps. And if we scroll all the way to the bottom, we can see that we've got a pipeline that does just some really basic stuff. And we've got other normal pipeline things declared in here. So you can set up a Bitbucket pipeline.yaml file that functions normally, has normal steps and does normal things, but you can also add triggers to it and have it react to events that are happening in your Bitbucket environment. So let's take a look at the pull request one. So we're going to go over here, we're going to create a new pull request, and we're going to create pull request. I've already got the code staged for this. So that's great. Now if we jump back over to Super Pipeline Triggers, and we take a look at pipelines, we can see that we've kicked off a pull request trigger pipeline. So this is going to auto assign reviewers, and then in parallel it's going to run a test suite, spin up a preview environment, and post the URL for preview so we can see it. So this happened automatically when the pull request was created because we set up a pipeline that triggers on pull request created. So there's many actions that you can react to using triggers. So take a look at our documentation and learn more about it there. All right, thank you for watching and learning how to use new Bitbucket pipeline trigger types to build reactive pipelines. You can learn more by following a link in the QR code. If you want to try this yourself, a good starting point is adding a pipeline completed trigger that runs a shared pipeline that sends Slack notifications when the pipelines fail.